Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you're wanting? Mostly? Mostly? We have to ask, are you enjoying the expansion of your desire?
Yes.
Well, that matters a lot, doesn't it? Because when you say yes to that, that means that you're sort of keeping up to speed with the evolution of your desire. If the gap gets too wide between what you're asking for and your expectation of it, then the answer to that question is usually, no, I was happier before I wanted this thing I don't believe I can have. But when you say, yes, I like the expansion of my desire, that means you're right on track. That means you are becoming, or maybe you are really an expert at deliberate creating. Deliberate creating really is vibrational awareness and then vibrational control, which means it's focusing your thoughts deliberately. Do you do that? Sometimes. Most people focus their thoughts around something that's happening. So if they're standing in an environment where the things that are happening feel good to them, then their focus on what they're observing is good for them. But if they are observing something that makes them feel uncomfortable as they observe it, makes them afraid or angry or agitated in some way, then their attention to this thing that they're observing is causing an activation of a vibration within them that is not serving them. But most people do not have any awareness that they are vibrational beings, because you are, as humans, so good at interpreting vibration, you don't know you're doing it. Everything you see is a vibrational interpretation. You have a mechanism that does the interpreting, and it happens at an unconscious level, so you don't know you're doing it. Even what you smell or taste or feel with your fingertips or hear, all of that is vibrational interpretation. So when we get together with you and we know we have your attention, we always like to talk about the vibrational being that you are and the vibrational reader of your emotions, because we want you to understand in every moment what you're doing vibrationally, because that really matters. You are vibrational beings whether you know that you are or not, and you live in a vibrationally based universe whether you know that you are or not. And law of attraction is responding to your vibrational offering whether you know that it is or not, and everything that's happening around you and to you and near you and with you is because of the vibration that you're offering. You have so much more control of what goes on around you than most humans even try to exercise. And so this is a gathering that at one time we were calling the science of deliberate creation, because we really wanted you to pay attention to what you were thinking about and think more purposefully. Get the momentum of your thoughts going deliberately. Think on purpose, and therefore feel purposefully. Feel on purpose. But as we watched you for a while, we noticed that the idea of deliberate creation was making you approach your life, as you so often do in your action orientation, of trying too hard, of getting hold of a problem and trying to wrestle it to the ground and kill it. And in doing so, in the defining of the problem, or in the awareness of the problem, or in the trying to overcome the problem, in the looking for the solution by getting rid of the problem, without even meaning to, you were activating the problem all the more. So the harder you tried, the worse it got. The more you wanted to solve the problem, but the more you activated the problem itself, and the greater the struggle seemed, which fit right in with the way most of you were thinking even before you were in contact with us. Because most humans, somewhere along their path, have been encouraged to believe that you're here to prove something to someone who is very picky about what you do. Also, somebody who changes their mind really, really often about what's right and wrong, And so you become a mass consciousness that's scrambling around trying to please or prove to something that you can't really define, that you can't really get your thoughts around. So we want to help you to understand that you are source energy. You're in these magnificent physical bodies. You came from non-physical. And while you were non-physical before you came into these physical bodies, you still are, for the most part, predominantly, that non-physical consciousness. You just are. But that's hard for you to know because you have come into this personality, and the awareness of what's going on here, what you're observing, is so dominant, so pressing. It's so real, you call it reality. Well, this is the real world. So the non-physical world from which you have come, and this non-physical world where the larger part of you still is focused and still is projecting from, is largely gone unnoticed to most of you, except that you feel emotions all day, every day. You do, don't you? And those emotions are something that is vivid within you because the emotion that you feel is your vibrational indicator of how you're doing in relationship with who you really are. This non-physical part of you has a perspective. You could say an opinion. You could say an expectation. This non-physical part of you, this God force within you, has very clear understanding. So when you are thinking something and you've got a little momentum going on the thought, you can feel the resonance with source regarding that thought, or the dissonance. We've been calling that the allowing of you being who you are, or the disallowing. We've been calling it allowing, resistance, good feeling, bad feeling, resonance, dissonance, alignment, not alignment. So as you begin to realize that you've got this guidance within you that doesn't just sometimes come along and let you know that you're on or off the track, it's always in every moment available to you if you're paying attention. So that's really what we want to talk about in the hours that we are together today. We want to awaken within you your realization that you are an extension of source energy and that we are all in this together. And that while you've come into this physical body, you've come with deliberateness. You've come with an intention to explore the variety, to come to your personal opinions about your own personal expansion. You get to decide what you like and where you would like to go. You get to choose the expansion, every detail of your life experience. But you come on a trajectory of well-being. You didn't come proving yourself. You didn't come to fix something that was broken. You didn't come to make up for something that you didn't get right before. We don't know where you get that screedness. You came as powerful creators in an environment that you knew would stimulate personal preference within you, with the intention of honing those preferences within the trajectory of this pure positive energy being that you are. You came as a lover, not as a hater. When you feel hate, that's dissonance from who you really are. You came as someone who knows your worthiness and value. And when you're hard on yourself, that's dissonance from who you really are. You came expecting things to go well for you. And when you are pessimistic about your life or others, that's dissonance from who you are, you see. So this guidance has always been within you. But you've gotten so used to feeling negative emotion that some of you have accepted as a sort of lifestyle. And we want you to get over that. We want you to care so much about the way you feel that you become one who is particular about what you think in the way you're particular about what you eat. We don't see you going to the buffet and saying, yeah, I had that before and it was awful. Give me more. Every time I get that, I just hate it. It's just a horrible experience, but please give me more. We don't do that because you care about how it tastes in your mouth and you care about how it feels when you digest it. You care about what you eat, and we want you to care about what you think because we want you to care about how you feel, because we want you to care about your alignment with Source, because we want you to stand in your physical body, posed out here on the leading edge of all that is, in full allowing or resonance with the whole of who you are. so that when you're having a conversation with someone, all of you is there. And you can tell when all of you is there because you're eager and your timing is good and you're having a really good time and you're appreciating the others and you're appreciating yourself. That's how you know that all of you is there. But if you feel agitated, or if you feel envy, if you feel competition, if you feel uneasiness of any kind, then you're pinching yourself off from that source who is there with you. Even though that source is there with you, you are pinching it off. Even though that source is there with you, you are pinching it off. Even though that source is there with you, you are pinching it off. Even though that source is there with you, we're trying to make a point here, you're pinching it off even though that source is here with you. And the thing that we so want you to understand is that the reason, if you can hear this, then you'll have it all. The reason that you can feel negative emotion at all is because source is there with you and you're pinching it off. If source were not there with you, then you wouldn't feel any dissonance in not lining up with it. But since you are a vibrational being with this relationship with your source, not just the source that was before you came into this physical body, but the source that you in this physical body is helping to evolve, you see. Humans sort of have a screwy take on that. Source, God, whatever you want to call it, you think, all done, all perfect, now watching me to catch up. And we say, nothing like that. Source flowing to you and through you, reveling with the new things that you define. So here you are in your physical body, sorting through all of this, knowing what you don't want often, which causes you to clarify what you do want. And every time there's a personal clarification emanating from you, whether it is from your conscious mind or whether it is cellular, every preference that emanates from you is known by source, is received by source, is held in vibrational alignment with source, so that you will have the opportunity, if you choose to eventually find alignment with it too and experience the expansion that your diversity has helped you to carve out. Did you follow that? Source holds the new idea even when you're not ready for it. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you're asking for what you do want. But if somebody asks you what you want, you're usually at that point in the game going to tell them what you don't want. I really don't like this. This shouldn't have happened. We're beating the drum. This should not have happened this way. So as long as you're still focused upon the problem, you know, the problem and the solution are very different frequencies. So as long as you're still focused upon the problem, you're disallowing the solution, but the source within you is there with the solution. And that's why you feel negative emotion. When your source, that larger part of you, is solution-based in this moment, and you're problem-based, you feel the discord. You see what we're getting at?